Hey guys, this is SWTOR, and today I'm going to be showing you the Ruffian Scoundrel. And I got a request for this, and also this is one of the few classes that I have not played. And part of the reason is that it's very weak in the sense that without help and with a healer on the other team, it does very little damage. It's a lot of fluff damage. But I thought it was important to show just because it shows you how some of the class plays, and if you play it right, you can make some good pressure. This spec is not going to get some big numbers at all. It has almost no burst whatsoever. It does not do very well solo killing people necessarily, especially healers. But what it is good at is it's good for this group fighting right here. Nice little dot spread right there. But it's good for just putting a lot of pressure on people, letting your burst DPS do the blunt of the work, but providing the steady pressure so that the healer and the tanks constantly have to shift. So my general thoughts on this class, I mean, you can see kind of how it rolls. When we do our scamper, we get an instant heal, which is very nice. That and our dots ticking pretty hard helps our survivability a lot. But because we have also so many dots and 30-meter range abilities, we're able to keep up well and just put a lot of pressure on a bunch of different people. Something good that you should note is what I did right there is I used my flashbang, and your flashbang is not broken by your dots, which is what we get in our discipline. That's kind of important because what I do a lot of times is if I throw a flashbang on a group of people, I can throw my dots on them and then like maybe charge up a charge burst or something like that if it's like a one-on-one. But because our dots are some of the longest lasting dots on the game, I think it's good just flashbang. You can get your dots already started, and then when you're going to your more burst part of your rotation, you're good to go. As you can see, we have a healer right here, so whenever someone kind of gets to our back line, I try to put some pressure on them. Again, it's not enough to actually kill them, but it's enough to get them away from the healer and make our healer less worried about the people on his back and more worried about killing them. So again, running forward, using my instant heal because I was kind of low. This spec, because it's revolves around healing over time instead of burst, it's a great spec just to keep your health at the top. And whenever your health's like at the top, whenever it's near 100%, people won't necessarily want to attack you because they'll assume that you're at full health and there's no point. So I saw this guy over here just kind of hanging out, and I wanted to go for a 1v1 just to kind of test the spec out more, so I stealthed out. But unfortunately there was somebody else there on our team, and so it wasn't a true 1v1. But still, you can kind of see how the thing would have played. Opened up with my out of stealth point blank shot, hit him with a dirty kick, put on my 2 dots, and then I think he must have quit the game. I'm not sure what happened, either quit the game or /stuck. So then as we're going forward again, do a scamper or 2 as I put on my dots, get closer to the person, and just go on from there. As you can see, I'm starting to make some decent progress. So and then I hit my AoE dot just to kind of put a bunch of damage on a bunch of different targets. We're getting him pretty close. I scamper back in, and then again continuing your DPS. You want to make sure that you're keeping up your brutal shots, and then I get the kill. It's kind of interesting that usually when I play a class like Arsenal Mercenary, we build up some sort of resource and then use our hardest hitting moves, but our brutal shots is not actually our priority in a lot of cases. You want to be using your sanguinary shot or your blaster whip, and you keep that in a higher priority than your brutal shots, which is just something interesting to know. The rotation is not too difficult at all. You basically put your dots on, cast your sanguinary shot or your blaster whip to get some upper hand, spend it on brutal shots, and throw in a point blank whenever you can. So then I roll forward, do my AoE stun just to kind of get the front guy away from the node. We're able to cap finally, and then continuing on. As you can see, when we're stunned and we're kind of left in the open, we take a decent amount of damage, but luckily my healer was able to keep me alive. I ducked out of stealth really quick, got behind, started up my burst again with an out of stealth point blank shot. But he runs away, staying with him again, and then just continuing on the pressure. Notice his guard, and whenever I see a guard, I usually switch off the target because for what little damage Ruffian actually does, with a guarded target, it does almost nothing. So what you should do, instead of playing this as a burst class or some of the other classes, you need to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the class. This has a lot of dot damage and a lot of internal damage. Look at these dot spreads I'm getting right now. I'm able to spread my bleed with my AoE gunfire, I forget what it's called, but in those types of scenarios, you're able to pressure down a large group of people at once, especially tanks. Tanks have a lot of good absorption, jumping away quickly just to kind of breathe again. But tanks have a lot of absorption. They can absorb a lot of bursts, but these constant dots ticking underneath, they will wear him down to the point where the healer will have to choose between him or herself, and the healer should usually choose herself. So, although we're not, this isn't a great opportunity to show exactly how I'm able to put a lot of pressure down. You're still able to see some of the dots spreading, and the general survivability. Stealthed it out really quick just because I was taking some damage. My healer again is doing a great job keeping everyone alive, but whenever I see people on him like I do now, I jump back, put some pressure in, and make sure that my healer can focus on healing instead of having to peel or do any other sort of thing. So then, as he got back within healer range, I started going on groups of people, putting my dots on the sorcerer, and remember guys that you can actually put your dots on a sorcerer who's bubbling. He won't take any damage, he'll absorb the damage, but he won't absorb the dots. So since we have the longest ticking dots in the game, whenever you see a bubbled sword, just throw your dots on him, so as soon as he comes out, he'll be already ready to take some damage. So I'm seeing a lot of pressure here. Throw out my dodge, try to get some burst in, but unfortunately he LOS's my burst teammates, so I'm not able to do a bunch of stuff. I'm kind of stunned out in the middle here, so I teleport away, will use my instant heal, and this is what I really like about just Scoundrels in general, but especially with this spec, is that you're able to be incredibly mobile, and if you're ever caught in the open, we do not do well with taking any sort of damage whatsoever. So you're able to use your teleport to a friend, maybe roll once more, get your healing up, and then put a couple hots on yourself, healing over time on yourself, and then you're able to continue. So what I did right there is I put up my dots on each other, did my dirty kick, and then my point blank shot to finish him off, which is a pretty good combo. Your point blank shot, although it's nothing near a burst class's actual burst, it does hit pretty hard for the spec, and so you can get a nice little bit of burst if you're no shooter. Again, putting some pressure back on this person. I'm still getting attacked, but whenever I do, I usually roll away, because I can just put dots on people, roll away, and then go on to a better target. I'm very hard to attack, especially because my healer is keeping everyone out. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm actually going with a guild, and I think I'm the only person not in the Republic rolling League here, so that's part of our success right here, because they're probably on guild chat or anything like that. But again, just kind of rolling forward, making sure I'm putting a lot of pressure on people. My one dislike about this game is how I'm spending a lot of my time on the healer, and that's not necessarily what you want to do. I probably should be a little bit more on the tank, a little bit more on the power attack against people that are taking more damage rather than just a healer. But again, you got to recognize the strengths and weaknesses. Really that bit of dot spread right there. You got to recognize the strengths and weaknesses and just do the best you can. This spec definitely isn't making as big of an impact as I'd like, but maybe that's just part of the dot class. And I would say the dots take a little bit less, or have less of an impact than the Serenity Shadow's dots, because Serenity Shadow also has some burst you can put in there too after you put your dots, and their dot spread is way easier. For the Scrapper Scoundrel, we have one kind of AoE dot which we throw. It's our it's like a grenade, but it's only 5 meters, and then we can spread our dots with our AoE dual ability. But since that ability is a 5-meter cone, it is very hard to get a dot spread off. So a lot of the times you see, unless there's a group of maybe like 3 people, I don't usually dot spread. It's just not worth. So again, you can kind of see both of these guys are getting really low. They're taking damage. I have dots on both of them, but I'm focusing a lot more on the tank because, again, as I said before, we're able to go through their armor a little bit more. So I know this isn't the most exciting of games, and it gets a little bit more faster paced at the end, so thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully this is helping you kind of see how the class plays, even if you just say, okay, I don't want to play this class. At least you can kind of see how it flows, see the strengths and weaknesses, so that you can kill it if you can kill ruffians if you need to. So I'm just putting some hots on myself, and just kind of rolling away, but getting the DPS boost because a lot of people forget about that, and then just going back in on the fight. Again, just kind of kiting around, making sure that I'm hard to hit. I see this guy rolling over, so I make sure to dodge away, use my roll, my instant heal, and by running him into a group of my teammates, I basically kill him. I put my dots on him, I run away, put some healing on myself, and because he tries to chase me, he ultimately dies because he overextends. So I guess we're pretty good bait as well. For a nice timed stun over there. I see my dots ticking over here, so it's a good indication of where the healer is. This mercenary has kind of been on me the entire game with the electronet, but I'm throwing my AoE dot in there. Healer's trying to keep me up, but for whatever reasons, he just doesn't heal me at that time. There might have been other people low, but I didn't get healing, and I had all my defensives down, and so I died. Quick look at my gear. I didn't change it at all for my scrapper. This was the first day of me trying this spec at all. I just tried it, see if I could come up with something decent with the video. Kind of checked over my shoulder, and then I decided to head towards snow because, again, I kind of like testing out this spec. If this is a true video to test out the spec to see how it does, I should be able to see how it does against 1v1s, against node attacking. And so as I run up to this node, I make sure to have my hots on. I try to do some AoE to pull out any stealthers, but unfortunately I missed the other operative. And this other operative is a lethality operative, so usually I would be really excited of actually trying to figure out if I'm playing the spec right. But they're also on a tank as well, so get a nice dot spread off, but a lot of what I'm doing is trying to survive. Nice little roll out there, put a couple of hots on myself. Operative also rolls over, and so I make sure to throw my other couple dots and go for it. I use my dodge as soon as he started using his brutal shots, because once you use your dodge, brutal shots do absolutely nothing on you, basically. Rolling away, putting my heal on myself, trying to cut the LOS by being under this ridge right here, but then they discover me. Again, I'm just not doing any sort of meaningful DPS toward these guys. As you can see, I'm making a little bit more progress on the tank, but he has so many defensive cooldowns, I'm not really doing too much. I could have used my dodge at the last minute to probably survive this encounter, but, and my med pack as well. I had both of those defensives up, but at this point, there was a lot of point to the encounter. We weren't getting anywhere with it, and I wasn't pulling anyone away from the node. They had 2 guards, which was pretty stupid of them. So I just kind of check your shoulder. You're always making sure to check toward grass. I saw someone coming, and I was like, nah, he probably has it, but then realized he definitely needs help. Looking over at their health bars and looking at the class balance, it was a Juggernaut against a... I don't know. I forgot to see, but I made sure to throw my dots on him. Pushes me away. Now, when you're defending the node, remember that your dots don't actually break the cap. So I had to use my thermal grenade, then my other dot. My dots start ticking on him. I throw my sanguinary shot and a couple brutal shots to finish him off. So, yeah, that's basically the game. Overall thoughts, I don't think I'll be playing the spec that much. It's fun to play. You get decent DPS. Again, not really great. I'm going against up with a decent team, but even with it, my dots, I was a little bit just dot spreading on this class, and I still didn't get a big DPS. I didn't get a bunch of meaningful damage, and so yeah, hopefully for especially one of my subscribers who asked me to do this video, hopefully this helped you out a little bit about my thoughts and opinions. But I don't think this is a better option than Scrapper at the moment. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. See you next week.